reasons why the Executive Committee supporting the Women's Committee's view is in opposition against Resolution 64.
You've just made constitutional decision for the PSI Women's Committee delegates. That decision requires the Executive Committee to approve the composition and resources of that Women's Committee. This resolution, number 39, is designed to ensure that work begins this week on the process. It also provides for participation of Women's Committee members in meetings of regional advisory committees, generally at PSI expense. The last Congress in 1985 carried a comprehensive resolution on equality for women. One outcome of that has been the establishment of the Women's Committee, which I am had the privilege to chair. The activities report shows that the committee has made considerable progress towards the objectives set forward by the last Congress. In practical terms, the Women's Committee has developed a set of guidelines on the implementation of equal opportunities in and by PSI affiliates. These and a series of pamphlets on women's committees within unions, affirmative action programs, how to run a conference, have been distributed to affiliates. Very early in its life, the Women's Committee agreed that its main focus would be on women in developing countries. Accordingly, much work has been done in the education field. Seminars for women at local, sub-regional and regional levels have given many women knowledge, experience and skills which will assist them in protecting and advancing their own interests in ways which are most appropriate to their own circumstances. PSI education coordinators now routinely make special efforts to increase the participation of women in all PSI education programs. They also help identify the training requirements of women as the basis for the development of further programs. Particular attention is also being paid to training women as trade union educators. Since 1985, regional women's seminars have been held in each of the 4 PSI regions. These have been highly successful in identifying women's needs and problems and discussing solutions, but also in extending trade union solidarity among women. They have resulted in many women's committees and women's departments being set up within affiliate unions. Seminars have also resulted in many women becoming delegates at regional conferences, as the conferences have been held in conjunction with the seminars. The Executive Committee adopted a Women's Committee recommendation that sponsorships organised by the PSI should be equally available to women as to men. This has resulted in improved representation of women at seminars, conferences and this Congress, although a great deal still remains to be done in this regard. Much remains to be done in many areas. The future work of the committee has been identified by the committee and also by a meeting of women delegates held in this hotel last Sunday. These are just a few of the things the Women's Committee has been involved in. The activities report gives details, but it does not any of the flavour of the changes which are occurring. I hope other speakers will provide that, and some already have. I mention the things that have been done because the resolution, number 39, asks you to note the work of the Women's Committee. The second part of the resolution proposes that the Executive Committee begin the process of selecting the new Women's Committee at its meeting next Friday. It also proposes that substitute members be provided for those occasions when the member cannot attend. The third part of the proposal recommends that Women's Committee members be able to participate in the Regional Advisory Committee meetings, generally at PSI expense. Much of the action in the PSI takes place at the Regional Advisory Committee level, and women's interests should be fully taken into account at that level. It is not proposed that Women's Committee members have the power to vote at advisory committee meetings. Chair, in concluding, I'd like to thank all the members of the Women's Committee, particularly the Secretary Carola Fishback-Pitt, for the very hard work and the great contribution they have made for the last 4 years and the first 4 years of the PSI Women's Committee. I urge you to support the resolution.
teste. Amanhã já foi bem para um congresso. Amanhã para um congresso.
Opposition. The motion passes. We now Brother Omdahl of Australia.
Good.
Thank you, Chair, delegates. My name is Brother Omdahl. I bring you greetings from my union, public sector unions in Australia. I'm proud to support this proposition because, as we all know, the youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow. And secondly, like all of us, I was a youth once. I congratulate the Lord unions for this important initiative and also for the executive for accepting the complex challenge to further develop and structure the numerous initiatives necessary to give positive and quick implementation to the broad themes expressed in the resolution. Delegates, the young are disillusioned. They are disillusioned with political parties, disillusioned with society, and yes, disillusioned with unions too. This disillusion exists in my own country, where the young are often denied a role in organisations of all kinds. They are denied a role because of the structure, objectives, method of operation, and even the leadership of some organisations. Vast numbers are denied employment. Many of those fortunate enough to gain employment do so on only a casual basis or on rates of pay and conditions significantly lower than adults performing the same work. Little wonder you see parties and unions as irrelevant or worse. But the challenge can be met. The Australian Council of Trade Unions, the ACTU, at its Congress in September this year, had youth workers as a major theme, and resolutions addressed many interrelated issues facing youth. An ACTU federal government accord has resulted in the creation of 1.3 million jobs over the last 7 years, many of them for youth. My own union, like some others, has established a youth section or a youth caucus. We recently won a pay dispute with the federal government. One of the gains from this claim resulted in pay rises of between 15% to 17% for youth workers. We must ensure that our parties, our unions, not only make gains for youth, but that the parties and the unions fully involve youth in determining the objectives and the processes that are to be followed. Delegates, the challenge we face is to ensure that the inherent qualities of youth, idealism, enthusiasm, optimism and energy, are utilised for the overall benefit of the parties and unions and for the community, both national and international. Youth must not be wasted on the young. In conclusion, Chair and delegates, it is with full confidence this Congress looks to the Executive Committee to pursue strongly, positively, quickly and in consultation with youth the way to implement the many important themes and issues in Resolution 29. Thank you.
Thank you, the General Secretary.
Comrade Chair, comrades, my name is Lilly. I'm from the Australian Public Sector Broadcasting Union. The union is only 3 months old. The union was created through the amalgamation of the Administrative and Clerical Officers Association, the Australian Public Service Association and the Australian Broadcasting Corporation Staff Union. Despite our youth, we have a combined union history of over 200 years. I speak in support of Resolution 62. On Wednesday, this Congress debated the issue of the representation of women within the PSI and within our unions. I believe this Congress made the correct decisions on that issue. Congress then rejected the soft option of designated positions for women on the Executive Committee, an option which would have enabled men to feel comfortable about retaining their own positions and avoid doing the hard work of changing the way we men manipulate power in our unions. I believe that we also reject the paternalistic approach of men offering to move over for women, an approach which implies that a man is still the best person for the job. Rather, what we did on Wednesday was to state our commitment to affirmative action within the PSI and within our unions. A commitment to not only identify, but to remove the barriers to prevent full and equal representation of women. If we fulfil that commitment within our union, if we do our jobs as union officials effectively, it will not be a matter of men moving over for women. Brothers, we will be pushed over by women, because they will have achieved the quality of opportunity to participate fully with us in our unions, something that was largely denied to them at present. So it's within the context of Wednesday's debate that my union supports Resolution 62. We believe that the prohibition of consecutive terms for PSI presidents will remove another barrier to the equitable representation of women within the PSI. It is particularly important for an international organisation to have a structure which facilitates the rotation of key honorary positions such as the President, a structure which assists us in maintaining and building our international solidarity. If this Congress wants to ensure that the position of President is able to be rotated, not only between men and women, not only between European and North American affiliates, but one day perhaps even between the Northern and the Southern hemispheres, then it should support the constitutional amendment proposed by ASME. Its adoption will help to ensure that the PSI remains at the forefront of international trade union secretariats. As demonstrated by the vote on Resolution 61 yesterday, Congress does want to limit tenure to the holders of the office of President. It is simply a question of whether we have it limited to 1 or 2 terms. Those affiliates who yesterday supported the 2 terms should now throw that support behind this proposal. I urge Congress to support Resolution 62. Thank you.
places and raise it at the same time. I think it's easier for me to see that. We can do that resolution. All those in favor, will you stand and raise your cards? Because then I just get a better sense of and nominating on behalf of the Executive Committee, Brother Bill Lucy of the United States.
Herr Präsident, liebe Kolleginnen, liebe Kollegen! Lasst mich zunächst Dank sagen für das Vertrauen, das ihr mir mit dieser Wahl ausgesprochen habt. Ich werde mich bemühen, es in den kommenden 4 Jahren zu rechtfertigen. Lasst mich aber auch Dank sagen für die Vielfalt an Erfahrungen und Informationen, die wir in den vergangenen Jahren austauschen.
Asia, we have Constitutional Member Brother Kandasamy from Singapore. First substitute, Yarnal Singh of Malaysia. And second substitute, there will be a rotation as agreed by the Indian constituency between Damodar, Moria, and after 2 years, my brother Ankarpal. Australasia, I know our colleagues from Denmark are not very happy with that name, but it's still in our constitution. Titular member is Anne Forward. First substitute is Colin Clark from New Zealand, and second substitute Mahendra Chowdhury, Fiji. We come then to Austria and Switzerland. Günther Menninger from Austria is the titular member. The first substitute will be Walter Strutzenberger from Austria, will be Joao Proenza, and the second substitute will be Jacques Naudin. And as you heard yesterday, the resolution was withdrawn in the understanding that there will be a technical advisor from Spain assisting the colleagues from that constituency. Federal Republic of Germany, the titular member will be Willy Hans, and the first substitute is Uri Flexenhaar. In Israel, we have Reif Dagan as titular member, first substitute Reif, and the second Ben Amen. In Italy, the situation has changed because of the adoption of the constitutional amendment. Titular member will be Alfiero Grandi from the CGIL, and his substitute will be Pino Schettino, also from CGIL. The other titular member will be Cristoforo Marinelli from CISL, and as his substitute will be Giacomo Moscolino. Japan, titular member Yasuo Maruyama, first substitute Toshio Takano, and second substitute Shinji Saito. In Latin America and the Caribbean,
Inside this Congress, we had discussions with our colleagues from Zimbabwe about the situation of Morgan Tsvangirai. You have asked us to do certain things, and I'd like to report to you what the situation is. You know that we have made representation to the Labour Minister and to the Vice President. We have also sent a request to see the President of Zimbabwe, who, as I read in the paper, is coming back today. We have not had any response from his office yet. Another request has been sent to the Minister of Justice to see